One of my first videos on the channel was about how Zenith was a trap for free-to-play players. And all these years later, I feel vindicated by this opinion because I believe it still holds true. Even with these really drastic changes that they made to this event, which is why I'm making this video. So my point of that video was how Zenith is really for rally and garrison players, so they can get the most stats possible to trade better, because they're using the whole kingdom's troops in rallies and garrison, so every stat matters. And for regular fielders, you know, it's not really necessary. Obviously it depends on your continent. If you're on a continent where it's easy to get, you know, these skins for cheaper, then yeah, I could make the case for that, but in most cases that's not really true. But there is silver lining to this, and I believe a much better alternative and a much cheaper alternative. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Top Up Live is a site where you can buy various bundles in a hefty catalog of games for a cheaper price. Once you sign up, you have multiple coupons to redeem and use. It offers a variety of payment methods such as PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Apple and Google Pay, among others. And if you use my promo code EMIR, you will have an additional 12% discount on your first purchase. Thanks to Top Up Live for sponsoring this video.
What I'm talking about is, of course, the recent KVK skin, which is Universal Troop Defense by 8%. And of course damage to barbarians. It's not important, but definitely nice. So I remember the time when there was so much hype and so much demand for this particular skin, Dynastic Conqueror, because it was a universal troop defense. So this was really nice because it allowed you to field your marchers regardless of their troop type, because they will all benefit from it. And here in 2026 there's not a lot of players that just do one troop type. I believe there's at least 2 troop types involved, so having a city skin that can buff multiple troop types is the most beneficial thing you can have. And the best part about it is it only takes 6 coins, which are really not that hard to get anymore. They used to be a lot more, you know, rare, but in recent times you can get a lot of these coins from individual achievements, but also from collective kingdom and camp achievements. So really I see no need for people to really push Zenith if they're just a strict open field player. I believe this one really has all you need, and once again it's a much cheaper alternative to the Zenith skins, which might cost you upwards of 20, 25, maybe all the way up to 40 million power, which is a guarantee for this current Zenith skin. Now the only downside of this city skin which is kind of funny, is personally I do not like the design much. I think it looks kind of small for a legendary. So I was thinking about going for some of these older skins. If you can see the shop right here, so all these older skins, especially this one in my opinion, really looks nice. And I thought about, if they're kind of cheap, I might save up for one of these in the future. But I've learned that they will expand this shop with these older city skins as each Zenith comes on. So you could potentially, you know, power up each Zenith to maybe 5-10 million, but I don't know how viable that is, because it's a significant amount of speed ups. But if you want something long term, I guess you can do that. But I still think this mechanic is, if you're going to push for Zenith, a lot of cases people go all in, and if for some reason they cannot go past 40 million, they might settle for one of these. But once again, you really need 40 million to acquire these. So Zenith is a really high stakes scenario, and it depends on your continent most importantly as well, but also on your own stockpile speed ups. And my warning was always, if you go all in, you have no speed ups, you have no resources, you're just kind of dead weight at that point because you're not doing anything. Well, the only thing you can do is really send troops to die, so you can reduce your power and have some kind of impact. And that's not something you should prioritize. I think having this KVK skin and then having all those speed ups and resources to actually get the KP, I think that is more beneficial for 90% of players, not just free to play. But once again, vanity is a thing, so people might not like this, you know, certain city skins. But the ones that really should push for are the Kingdom's main, Garrison and Rally players, because they benefit the most from these increment changes of 15%, 20%, and so on and so forth. So basically, if you're not a Rally or Garrison, you do not go for Zenith. If you want a really suitable city skin that really has all you need, is from the KVK shop. You get it from 6 coins. It's relatively easy to get. It might take some time, but it's definitely worth it. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.